Welcome to Wild Diamonds, where we hunt for the rare and remarkable. My name is Paul, and today's video is going to be a helpful one for beginners out there, or frankly, players of all difficulties, because one thing we can likely all unite on is that navigating the game's downloadable content, or DLC, and just figuring out which ones are essential, which ones are fluff, is very challenging to do, and frankly requires a lot of not only trial and error, but dollars. And so what I want to help players do is to give them what I consider to be 7 of the must-buy downloadable content items. And that's not just a random number. I went through all of the entire Steam page earlier today and looked through and identified. And just note, so this is going to be video number 1 of a new series for beginners, as I'm calling it the Beginner's Guide. And so we're going to go through just like 7 DLCs that are essential to I think to becoming not only more successful in the game, but also really to falling in love with this game and playing it for the long term. And so I feel like that, unfortunately, but it's just the reality, that the developer, Expansive Worlds, as great as they do with the game, there are some kind of baffling decisions. And some of that includes the downloadable content that they don't provide for free. And there are just some items that we'll cover here shortly that without them, frankly, I just think that your odds of sticking with the game and really enjoying it and investing into it long term are just severely limited. So I am here on Vurhonga Savanna, and we're going to kind of cut between this and the Steam store page on PC, and I will showcase the DLCs in the store, and then we'll come in game and I'll showcase kind of like what is the utility that you'll gain with these and what you would miss out on if you don't. And it will drastically affect your gameplay. Trust me. But that first, I will start just in the Steam store. And there are several ways to access these DLCs. One way I'll show you that I kind of like to do is just from the top, scroll down and go past these like bundles kind of here in the middle. In the next section, it'll show content for this game and show a little list. And you want to do browse all and view right now, currently, as of early June 2026, there are 60 downloadable contents, and that's what I'm saying. There's a lot to figure out. Just a tip here I'll give on the Steam store. You can view this in 2 ways, either featured, which is like all the recent news and kind of cater to your game, and that's fine, but I prefer lists more because this groups each DLC into a category or a group. And so one is hunting equipment, but beneath it here you can see there's other ones as well, right? And that's pretty nice to see. The one quick tip I'll give, and we'll go ahead and start off this list. The free DLCs, I'll just mention, if you're curious to check this out, these are really going to be just free contents that are already installed into your game, so you won't really notice them that they're DLC, but these are items that the developers decided to go ahead and include, and that's great. So it's just kind of good for curiosity. But wow, we're going to cover some items here right off the bat that should absolutely be included, but they're not. So from here for a list, I'm going to start out with number 1, the first DLC I want to mention. And that is the Tents and Groundblinds number 1. And so that's here in hunting equipment. We'll view the full list and go to the bottom. It's always sorted typically from the most recent downloadable content to the oldest from back in 2017. I can't believe the game's still been going on that long. That's pretty impressive. But these bottom 2 items, how are these not included for free in the base game? I don't understand. Anyway, so let's go ahead and go one at a time. The one that I think is the most essential is the Tents and Groundblinds, because not of the Groundblinds. No offense to Groundblind hater or purists out there. I love them. They're great. But this tent is so crucial to the game. And I will showcase why. But I'm just going to show you down here that this DLC has a tent and it has a Groundblind. So let's focus on the thing that really matters, and that's the tent. Okay. Let's go to the game here, and I am in Vurhonga Savanna. It's beautiful. It's in the morning time. What, 7:37? Yeah, so about 7:30 in the morning. Let's go ahead and showcase something. If I don't have the Tents DLC installed on this game, then what you have to do is you have to discover Outpost, and the Outpost would become your only method of fast travel around these 25 square kilometer maps, which is really difficult. So let's say you're right here in the game, kind of right in the middle of the map, right? And you have heard from your friends or from Reddit or Discord that, hey, there's this incredible hunting lake, which there is, by the way. This one is amazing for lion, for Gensbach, and for wildebeest, and I want to go here and hunt it. Well, if you don't have tents and you're all over here at this Singula Place outpost. We can get there, but that is a walk of 1.07 kilometers. Look at that. Over 1,000 meters to go walk and run. Let's go do it. So you could do this. You could have no tent, and you can just auto run for 1,000 meters if you really felt like it, you know, and you're just like, hey, this is my life. That's what I want to do. So like I was saying, let's go back to the tents. So I could just run all the way down here to this lake if I want to. But think about this too. Not just one time. Every time I want to come back here and hunt this lake for all these different animals. I mean, there's amazing, prize species on this map. I would have to run 1,000 meters every time. Or what I've done, you go to a tent and just fast travel to a safe distance, obviously to a distance within out of the spook radius, which in this case would be roughly, 200 to 250 meters. The number I hear a lot, it changes and depends a lot, right? Check this out. I'm going to run roughly 250 to maybe more meters, depending upon where I place the tent. Now that is fine. Like, that's manageable. And now I can visit this lake and run 4 times, like 250 meters each. I can do that 4 different times, and that would match the distance of me coming to this one time from the nearest outpost. So that's just utterly insane. I'm going to come down here. There's a wildebeest zone at this time that I'm just curious about. And I'm going to, after I take a look at that zone, I'm going to showcase the next useful tip on using a tent, which is the concept of pickup blinds. I'll explain it briefly. And then we'll go back to the tent and I'll kind of showcase to you how it is having like an outpost functionality on you at all times. But just for a moment, I just want to check this zone. And if it's there, I'll explain to you why. There it is. Oh, there it is. I saw this earlier in my video. Actually cut out. That's my first. Oh, it's my first crown. I'm shooting that right. Let me actually get a little bit closer. I've never seen a rare like this. That crown with that distinctive like brown mane. I have never seen that in this game. Oh my gosh. I'm blessed to have quite a few trophy wildebeests, but I've never seen one. Oh, wow. That's so cool. Let's get my zeroing right. Just a moment. Yeah, he's good to go. Oh, okay. All right. And by the way, these are just floating. If you didn't notice, I didn't even react to those. Those floaters, that happens all the time in this game. This game is just hilariously buggy. I find it to be kind of charming. It's also annoying, but it can be charming too. Okay, well, it's going to be a floater. Oh my gosh. I will fast forward and we'll cut to when this guy arrives to me. Unfortunately, I have to wait for it, but it will be worth it. Okay, well, we're here. I cannot believe this. Oh, I've always wanted one of these. Check this female crown. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, what did I miss? Improper class 6? Oh, I thought I switched to my 308. Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't matter. It's like a silver score. So look at that crown. Oh, sorry guys. I have hunted wildebeest for a long time. I've always wanted one of these, and I've never seen it. So, oh man, awesome. Well, it's really neat to get this on a recording video. I did not expect that. Super neat. Let me make sure I taxidermy it. Yeah, let's not screw that up. And accept. Wow. Okay, well, that's a good start. Really fun for not only, of course, for me, but it's nice for you guys to see stuff too. Oh, there you go. Saw a crown wildebeest. That's a good omen for us the video. Oh, hey there, good boy. These dogs are hilarious. Okay, so like I mentioned, let's get back to the topic of tents. And so what I want to mention is like, okay, having the tent here just to cut out traversal time to a drink zone is important. Another common thing you'll hear about is what's called a pickup tent, and this just also helps more traversal. I have a tent that's already placed here, right? Oh, okay, here we go. It's kind of close to there. Let me see if I can find an animal somewhat nearby. Not really, but let's take this one. So let's just say, for example, I really want to shoot this animal, and it's 300 meters away. We'll go and take a shot. Hold on. That's gonna be fine. And so now here's what we want to do. Without a tent, what I have to do is I have to come around all the way here, which is, if you look on the bottom, about 280, 290 meters away, and then come around again. And, who knows, another 100 meters or so. But for me, like this walking distance, if I go to the center and place my waypoint, it says I'm 300 plus meters away. So I have to go now without a tent. Oh, man, let's go walk around and go do this thing. And that's a long traversal to go pick up a trophy, right? Or just any harvest. Or if this comes with planning, of course, and we'll have future video guides on that. If you happen to have a pickup tent kind of placed near a commonly hunted zone where you come back and often to keep shooting at it, you can just go and reap the rewards of your former well-planned, well-organized self, and you can just pop to that zone. And now I'm 140 meters away, so I've cut it in half. And frankly, if this was placed closer to that zone, you could pick up and be right there at it, 10, 20 meters away. So pickup tents are just a amazing time saver. Pickup tents, it's more of like a philosophy than it's more of a way to use a tent than necessarily, like a type of tent. So don't want to get that confused. It's the same tent. It's just there's a kind of a style of how can we use these to make the game easier. And so cutting down traversal time matters because not only is it just, saving yourself. 34 is a pretty good one. Wow. But also now I have that much more time to go to the next thing and go to the next place and all that. So let's come back to my main tent. And so I'll show you a couple things here that's pretty useful. But now, okay, so I've got my tent. First of all, let's just showcase why this is also helpful, not only as traversal, but also to be a portable outpost. You can have 24/7 like outpost plus functionality, even better actually, at all times. So I have this place here. One thing I want to do is let me go and access my cache. And what you can do is, let's say if I ran out of ammo, I can come here to rifle ammo. Like, hey, my 300 or my 308 is getting really low. And actually, I usually have like 100 plus ammo at all times. So, hey, I'm getting a little low with ammo. Let's go ahead and buy some ammo. And you can restock ammo, right? Also, for the newer players out there where money is difficult, you're probably going to be using a 243 ammo for a while because it is free. See those green letters? Free. You can come here at any time. And if you have no ammo anywhere, but you want to at least have a class 2 to 6 rifle that will cover a lot of game across most maps, you can come here and just always restock on free 243 ammo, if nothing else, and then equip a proper weapon for it, right? So that's really helpful. To always have a storefront here for ammo, or if you happen, let's say you have a tent and a tripod on you, which I'll talk about those two. And let's say you place your last tent and then you're out of them. You have no more. Well, if you have money, you can purchase another one from here. What's nearby? Oh, hey, little Gensbach. Hello. Hey, it's just saying hi. It is not fun early in the game, and I've been there only a couple years ago. I remember vividly where you just don't have much money. You're limited on resources. The in-game currency is a whole different topic for another day. It's pretty difficult, and it really stinks when you're around here and you're hunting and you're having fun, and then you run out of something and you have to come all the way back here. Let's say in this case 1,000 meters away, and then go back. And those are the kind of things that would just maybe lean you towards leaving the game at some point, right? It's just not fun. But also beyond the store, having a tent, it also gives you your current storage. So let's say you've already bought things and you just want to maybe swap out your ammo or your rifles, or you want to bring in a shotgun, or you want to bring in a crossbow, or whatever. You can do that immediately on the fly. You can bring in, new portable structures, all that kind of stuff. Bring out a bait barrel, all kinds of things you can do with your storage in your store. Also, there's a character screen. Or in the character screen, you can equip like a backpack to increase your storage if you want to, and change your outfit. Also, what's really nice here with a tent that's even better than an outpost is that you have your trophy manager on you. And so let's just say that for some reason you only have 10 slots here maximum in your saved harvest. So let's say that I had just filled up with my 10 slots, okay, and this is full. And then I go around for the next half hour and I shoot like 3 or 4 more really cool trophies on Africa. And I am stuck and I can't save anymore. And I don't have enough currency to also go ahead and taxidermy it. Well, then you know what? You're going to lose a trophy. And that stinks. What you can do instead if you're filled up with your saved harvest, just put down your tent really quick, come in here, go to Trophy Manager, and then go ahead and you can either choose to taxidermy some or to delete some, and then you clear out space, and then you can go back out and you go out hunting, and you have capacity again to save your trophies. So really helpful. And the last two things you can do from a tent are both related to DLCs, and we'll go ahead and talk about these here in a moment. Garage, this is if you buy the ATV DLC, you can go ahead and equip that. And I'll just go ahead and show you. If you click on it, somewhere around your tent, it's always not really always in the same place, but usually in front of it, that'll pop up, and you can go use it. And the last thing you saw here is if you have any of the hunting dog DLCs, it'll implement this kennel option where you can go in here and you can just like go ahead and check out your dogs and do the traits and all that kind of stuff. So, and then lastly, but most important maybe of all, is right here, just this little place to rest. And so you can rest and change the times. And changing times is critical as you learn the game more. Like let's say right now it's 8:50, but let's say, hey, I want to go ahead and just hunt lions, and they're only here from 12 to 15 o'clock. Well, I could go here into my tent, and instead of just waiting in game from 8:50 until 12 when they start, that's not fun. That's 4 hours, or 3 or 4 hours. I can just go now, place a tent, click rest, change the time, spend a little bit of money. It's not great, but change the time, and then I can come back out here, go to that lake, and I can start hunting my drink zone with the desired species, which in that case would be a lion. So yeah, I think I'll give a tip here. One last thing on tents, and we'll move forward. The maximum number of tents that you can place on any reserve is 16. And that is 16 per reserve, to be clear. And for people doing like grinds and whatnot for great ones and all that, which I do too, you'll place all 16. I will say my tip is only place 15 tents maximum in terms of like your drink zones and your pickups, and always save one tent just to have on you at all times. And so with that, you just always have the functionality of a tent with you, so that wherever you are, you can just change time, stock up, manage your trophies, do your garage. And also it really helps because let's say that if you have one on you, let's say that if you're in a new place that you haven't really like placed pickup tents at before, and maybe let's say that you're hunting here at the edge, and let's say that you shoot one lion over here, and you shoot one lion over here, and let's just say that I haven't been up here before, so I don't have tents set up. What you could do is that once you shoot this one and you shoot that one, you're going to pick up both, right? Well, if you don't have a tent, you'd have to go here, pick it up, come back down, and then come back around and pick up the other one. Instead, what you could do after you shoot is place a tent like right there, and then just go up here, pick it up, and then fast travel back to the spot to save yourself that traversal distance, and then go back up and pick up your other one, and then fast travel again to your tent, pick it up, keep it with you, and just keep going. And so that functionality will also reduce traversal just nightmares on the map. So yeah, can you see why I just don't understand how a tent is DLC? It is the number one most essential thing in the game to go ahead and buy. And if you do, I will guarantee you that your enjoyment and satisfaction of the game will grow immensely. So please do that. Okay, so let's move on. I won't spend that much time on all these DLCs, but I just think the tent has the most functionality to showcase. Number 2 on my list is the ATV, and we've already brought it out. I will show it to you on the Steam page. So let's go and check that out. Kind of back out of tents, but right next to it in the hunting equipment section is the ATV Saber, 4x4. So this one is awesome, and it's for one reason, but it's just really helpful. You kind of scroll down here. I was going to show you like the description of it. It's kind of funny. These old DLCs have extensive descriptions, and the newer ones are really, really brief. What you can really do here is basically just get around much faster. Now, there is one like negative consideration to have with ATVs, and that is the spook radius that they have. So let's go ahead and use this thing. So here's a real world example from Vurhonga. Okay, so I'm here, and again, I've had a good time. I've hunted this lake. Okay, now let's just say that this is my first time on the map, and I'm exploring it I'm exploring a new area. Okay, so let's just pretend that this outpost up here, this Zarza, Biani, outpost. Let's say that I had not yet discovered it. Okay. But I'm looking on the map and I'm kind of looking for interest points. I'm like, okay, you know what? I want to go up here and let's go ahead and find and unlock this outpost because I want to get to this lake later on, right? Let's do it. Well, from where I am right now, let's go ahead and do a waypoint. And I am, again, the magic number, I'm 1 kilometer away, just like I was before. 1,000 meters away. That stinks. Well, without the ATV, even with the tent, but without the ATV, all I gotta do is I gotta book it, right? That's not fun. Or you can get the ATV, and let's just show you the difference, okay? You just enter. I will say that the dog, don't worry about it. You will not run over your dog. I've been worried about that before. If it's in front of you, you cannot hurt it. But now we're gonna have fun. Not only does ATV get you to your places to go, like, so much faster, exponentially faster almost, it's also really fun to use. They've improved, like the handling of it and whatnot over time. And the ATV really does handle a lot of terrain well. Now, in your experience, when you come across maps that have like rocky terrain, kind of on mountains and stuff, or where there's just like kind of rocks interspersed in places, you will find that there's bumpy places that will knock your ATV off in kind of unexpected ways, which is pretty irritating. Or just like little trees you'll hit. Forests are kind of tough, but overall, it gets you to places like way faster. And what I would say this is most useful for is when you are exploring a map and you want to go ahead and kind of get through the... Sorry for this grass. Wow, this is really annoying for the screen. Hopefully it goes away here soon. Sorry, that was irritating. My goodness gracious. That was awful. And here's more. Sorry for the grass, but we'll get through it here. There we go. Look at that. So we're having fun now. We're on the savannah. We're having a good time. Now, the one thing I will say is that you will spook animals. And from what I've heard, I think they'll spook from about like 400 to 450 meters or so out. Again, if anyone can comment below and kind of confirm that, or I'll look it up later too if I can. Again, I've seen different figures. Oh, there's something up there. See, so they're kind of running away because they've heard my ATV. So it's not at all a stealth option. Like, don't use it for that. But it just simply gets you places so fast. And like I said, so when you're exploring a map and you're kind of unlocking this outpost, then that outpost, then that outpost, and so on, the ATV can just get you there. And if you're not as worried about like spooking a drink zone, I mean, like you can do that later. Like go ahead first, I would say, and explore your map. Get your outposts, get your lookout towers also. Unlock all the visibility. And then once you have all those places discovered on a map, then you can go about, planning your hunts and checking out your drink zones and kind of the advanced or intermediate, step after. But the beginner part of every map is just go out around and explore it and go unlock places. So I hope that really helps just illustrate the simplicity of the ATV. And I am distracted. I love hunting wildebeests, but I've already got my crown, so I should just be happy, right? Okay, so that's DLC number 2. Without it, I'm just telling you that exploring your maps and getting around will take you much longer. And again, I think that can drive a relatively new player away from a map or just away from the game eventually. Because wow, this game is so slow. Not really. It's just the game doesn't tell you that these DLCs are critical. Okay, let's move on to the next one. And it'll be related to tents. I actually kind of forgot that it wasn't in the same DLC. But it's also going to be, again, in this hunting equipment. Scroll up a little bit. Right here, this DLC from June 2019 is the Treestand and Tripod Pack. We'll go ahead and talk about that for sure right now. So they're both equally important, but typically what you'll hear more of, the Treestand is used less often just because the Treestand itself is actually, it's only placed on certain kind of trees. They have to be tall. There has to be room. You can hold it and it'll show, like, it'll highlight like this in the video shown where, hey, you can place a tree stand here. It's really good for gaining visibility for sure. If you need to kind of look over some like dense, foliage. But the main thing that we're really here for is the tripods. These are incredible, and this video shows it perfectly. So the tripod, for one, the most important thing of it is that if you get on a tripod and shoot down or shoot out from it, you will significantly reduce the hunting pressure that you place on a zone. So this is why tripod stands and all of these, like the tree stands is all that too, why these are used by grinders, because here we're going to switch to the game real quick, and that's because they are they reduce your hunting pressure. And I think the math behind it really is something like hold on, let me see where we want to go real quick. Okay, so I'm here near the top of the map, and we're going to try to showcase what is helpful with using a tripod stand. So I've got this herd over here of angry-looking hay buffalo that I don't want them to hurt me. And so what I want to do, I'm within a good shooting distance. I'm less than 300 meters out. And so this zone that I'm looking at over here, I don't want to blow it out, right? I want to come back. I want to grind hay buffalo, let's just say, for example. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tripod stand and place it out. And now, really quick on the map, I just want to showcase the most recent kills that I had were on this big lake earlier with the antelope, right? And you can see the color, just note the color, how it's like a medium to kind of dark shade of purple. That's like a normal, hunting pressure from one shot, right? I'm going to take a shot and hopefully kill a buffalo here. And we'll see if we can showcase to you the reduced hunting pressure and what that means. So, yeah, let's take this guy. It looks good. That second shot was a little bad, I know. Hold on, let me get one more good one. I was messing around, so, okay. Okay, now do you see this? See that? I felt bad for that headshot, sorry, dude. You see that it's like a light color? It's not even purple. It's just like a little gray, right? So compare that to the purple versus just like this little gray color. So it's actually notably a different color, but there'll be kind of like a gray, like a light shade of gray versus purple. And I'm actually going to let that move. I'll go and get that later on. And so that's what's helpful with the tripod stand. Also, you're just higher up off the ground too. And so there's instances where you may want to kind of look up over some foliage or over a hill or whatnot. The tripod stand does it. And so typically what I would recommend is just to really enhance your game overall, get the tents and get tripod stands specifically. And in instances where you're on a Te Aurora map with tall trees, and maybe there's trees all around a lake, then that's when you want a tree stand. But typically tripod's what you want from most terrain. And always carry these two around along with your binoculars, and then you're set. And wherever you go, you can place a tent, you can place a tripod, and you are set. So hope that helps explain those three to me, along with the ATV, I think are just arguably the most crucial. But there are other ones. And so we'll keep going with this guide and talk about the Bloodhound DLC. Okay. And so I'll go to the Steam store page and I'll show you what that looks like. So we've been in this hunting equipment section for now, and there's a lot of more good stuff in here. But those are the ones I think are most important for the moment. Let me go to this next list here. That's why I like this list kind of feature. You go to hunting dogs. And there he is. So right here, you see there's three different ones currently. There's a pointer, a bloodhound, and then a Labrador retriever. And I will just say that for me, the one that's essential, I think, to the game is the bloodhound. Okay. The Labrador retriever, really quick, he is extremely helpful in doing what his name says. He will retrieve class 1 species and bring them to you. That is very nice. It helps the quality of life of the game, but it's not unless you're just doing extensive class 1 hunting or almost exclusively, shooting class 1 like birds and small game. You don't need a retriever for any other option or any other thing. The German Pointer is a helpful dog. I would recommend watching this video and checking that out in certain situations to kind of help suggest to you some hunts. But I think it's more so of a help to intermediate or advanced players who are kind of looking for other things. For me, for beginners, and I think for everyone, the Bloodhound is critical because he greatly assists you in tracking a kill. Which is just crucial. So here's the Bloodhound DLC. You'll see right here. Use it to track the scent of blood from injured prey, and forge a bond. And so, yeah, it's famous for its outstanding sense of smell. And basically, what really matters is that it can pick up blood trails even in the thickest of brush with ease. And so, yeah, I'll go ahead and switch to the game view now. And so, what's really cool, you can't quite view it here. Oh yeah, there's a hunting dog. There's a hunting dog option. You can name your dog. Mine's Good Boy. And you have traits, and you can level them up. and become even like gain an expert hunting dog thing. And there's more DLCs to check out, or more videos to check all that out and learn more about it. But basically, the main thing here, if you want to come to your dog and just hey, good boy, what's up? And improve your pawn. The main benefit here is when you go take a shot, and let's say you don't know where it's going to go, he will help find it for you. It's amazing. So let me actually come back. We're just going to have fun here, and we're going to go to this lake. Okay, and we are going to try and get a good shot on an animal. Okay, so I changed times at this lake, and what I want to do is look for lions, and I want this Bloodhound to help me track a lion. So we're looking at this. Look, this one zone with lions has 3 7s, 3s and 7s. Kind of funny. Okay, so we're going to shoot one of these, and then I'm going to try to find it. It's a class 9 animal, so let's kind of take a look. Now here, I would use a tent, but I'm too close. If I place it, I'll spook them. But it would be good practice to have a tent here. I'm just kind of being lazy right now. Okay, let's shoot this lion. And hopefully kill it. Did I get it? I got it. Okay. So what we're going to do now, we're going to head over here. I'll go ahead and cut into the video. And I'm going to bring this dog with me. And we will have him help me track this down, right? Okay, and so I'm within about 50 meters of that spot where I downed the lion. I'm just kind of checking on my dude over here. And look, I will say the one thing with the Bloodhound, and really with any of the dogs, when you're near water, they do get very frustrating. I like their functionality a lot, but you see this though, when they get close to water anymore. There's an update that EW did, and they haven't really fixed it since then, where they're just extremely sensitive to stopping and going near water. But anyway, they're here. We're kind of coming close. We're trying to find this lion that I shot, right? And I could do it myself, probably, and if it's wide open and whatnot, but this area is pretty brushy and kind of hard to see. There's my track, and I got a vital hit. That's great. So I can go around here and look and search and find my spot. Or once your animal is just within, what I found, when your dog is within 50 meters of a hunting pressure circle, okay, once he's within 50, 40 or 50 or so, you can go ahead and press track, and he will find that track. If you're further out than 50, like if you're 60 meters or more out, he'll just say a track not found. But once you're within 50 or so or closer, he will be able to search that radius and find it. And look, he's found the track, and I've got my blood trail, and I can tell, okay, got a medium shot. That's great. I know he's close by. Awesome. And he'll show you where to go. Boom. That simple. Thanks, dude. I'll go in, and he'll do that. Just note it says harvest found on the bottom, and then he will bark. What you can tell him to do if you don't want him to make noise is just tell him to heal. Then he'll calm down. Give him some praise. Come over here, and if you're close, let me see. Well, I'll hold, and we'll play a little bit. Thanks, man. But just that right there, I didn't know exactly where to go. I could have gone left, right, or middle. Right, I had no idea, and he told me immediately. So instead, now I got a trophy, got a good lion. That's great, awesome. Oh, that's a good shot. Nice, and thank you. So that is the benefit right there. And if you do that over and over and over and over and over, as you're going to be doing in this game, the value of the Bloodhound is just really hard to overstate. Get one, and I think that your time with this game will just be infinitely more fun. Okay, so let's go to I'll just mention this. The 5th essential DLC, in my opinion, is the Trophy Lodge. And so there's 2 different ones, and let's go ahead and go to those on the store. So I'll show on the store page first. Let's go out of here, out of the hunting dogs list, go to Trophy Lodges. What is unbelievable to me is that the release date of 2019 and 2019 are the only 2 lodges we've gotten. Big, full lodges. So that's like 7 years now. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I would recommend for these 2, you don't have to have both. I don't think that, but get one. Whichever one fits your need. More kind of Africa, bit exotic feel, or this is like a British kind of manor. Check these out. We'll go to the game real quick, and I'm not going to spend much time on these because I have a full 50+ minute video that I just posted called my Ultimate Trophy Lodge Tour 2026. where I take you through all of my trophy lodges. And so if you want the functionality and the reason for trophy lodge, watch that video, check it out. Or of any other creators too. We all have them, right? They're really great. But I'm just showing you here. Here's a trophy lodge. And you can you can create up to 5 kind of from any of these available lodges. But this late trophy cabin, this is a more recent DLC. But to me, you see the surface area of 978 square meters and how there's like 12 plaques. Yeah, look at the difference to Saseka. It's like night and day. So to me, the Leighton Lake one is it's a beginner's very limited lodge. So get the Spring Creek Manor or get the Saseka. Saseka's better. I think the community largely agrees. But either one, get one at least. And the reason why you want to do that is just because it tells the story of your game. Period. And so without this, I think that the long-term motivation of playing is kind of difficult. It's sort of challenging to think about, well, what do I do in the game? Do I just do all the objectives and missions? You have to create your own objectives, right? To me, the Trophy Lodge, it greatly enhances the long-term replayability because it helps to tell your game story. It helps to craft your identity in this game. You know, are you like a wizard at bird hunting? Do you love going for beavers? Like, what do you like? Are you what's your favorite deer species? You know, like I have 50 red deer diamonds in one of the lodges. And so this is just an example of a lodge, and it just helps you to display all your favorite trophies and collections, and you can arrange them however you want. But the main thing is that you can, as you go through your lodge and you continually increase it and improve it, it just keeps telling your ongoing story. And I will tell you that having played this game for 3 years, it is so rewarding to continually come back time and time again and just kind of reminisce old hunts, right? Because each one of these trophies is a story in itself. And so I highly recommend that you get a trophy lodge. And if you don't, I just think that's going to be really difficult to have this like warm feeling about the true context of your playtime here. So yeah, so do that. And here's to hoping the developers eventually release another one. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the 6th DLC of 7 that I think is essential. And I will say I'm going to delve into this one is actually a weapon pack, the only one. And I will definitely say that weapon packs are by and large subjective to whatever you really want in your game. So, but there's one pack that I do think that if you happen to get this one, it will make the rest of your game so easy because you're going to be set pretty much. And so let's go and go to that one. And it is the Modern Rifle Pack released in 2022. And what I love about this one so much is just that for a beginner, it's hard to kind of sift through all these weapon packs and and these dozens of rifles and shotguns and handguns. And what do I need? All you really need for like most of the game, other than the biggest class 7 to 9s, is you need this pack and you're set. The Zarza, the community loves these guns. They are like modern rifles. They have low recoil. And these 3 cover all these different classes. And so I'll actually show these guns to you in the game. Now, and I will say this, I'm not saying that you will just keep the Zarzas forever. There are so many other, good weapons. And so as you go throughout the game, I highly encourage you to experiment and, keep finding like what works best for you. Right. Let's make sure. But in my opinion, the Zarzas are really good for getting you through the early parts of the game and increasing your level of fun, and also just to be able to take down animals effectively. So I'll go ahead and show this to you. Let's go to my store page at the tent. Actually, storage. Okay, so here's what's really important for getting this pack, in my opinion, specifically. Okay, so is that if you get this, you are covered from classes 1 through 8. Okay, so first of all, this 22 LR Shadow, you'll see that it has 5 rounds in it, and this is used for class 1 birds. Okay, or class 1 species. So whether you're hunting birds, Or, of course, if you're on Scotland and you're hunting like the new mustelid species, or in the new Peru map, and you want to take down the greater Gryson, in Class 1, this 22LR Shadow takes care of it. Now, there is another 22LR gun that I'll talk about in another video later. That's maybe an improvement because it has a higher magazine round. But overall, this gives you a very good, accurate, useful Class 1 rifle. Now, next, we'll go to the 223, the Midnight. And this one, or just the 223 in general, this covers Class 2 to 4. So this is really useful to go for bobcats, coyotes, jackals, Eurasian lynx, many other of those like smaller species. You're covered. And so if you have this, you're good to go. Then lastly is the 308, and this is a community bona fide favorite, like top 5 arguable most used rifle in the game, because it covers classes 4 through 8, and this is like the ethical gun to use for most of the deer species, other than anything that's class 9. So for red deer, fallow, sika, mule deer, you name it, even the elk, you can shoot them with 308 and have an ethical kill, and that will help you preserve your best trophies. So you will almost always want to carry around a 308 with you if you're doing any deer hunting of any type. Have it with you. And then the other guns here, like I said, if you get this, like you may swap these out eventually for others. But what I like with the Zarza, one last thing I wanted to mention, it's just that the if you look at the bottom right corner of like the image of the gun, where it says 3.5 and then 3 and then 2.5, is that the storage, like the inventory size of these guns is also relatively small for them. And so it helps you just to manage your inventory that much better. And so that's just really going to benefit you a lot in this game. So I would highly recommend for you to get this pack, and then maybe just add something for a class 9, right? You know, if you want to go for the biggest game like the Bison and whatnot, then for sure get a class like a 300 ammo or something. But these 3, you are set for a long time in the game, and you can and the 308 you'll keep forever, like bare minimum, maybe even the 22LR as well. So I love that pack. Okay, one last thing I'll mention. This is the 7th and final, what I think is like the essential DLCs to have to really become a successful player in Call of the Wild and stick for this game long term. Right here. Sorry, I kind of Scopes and Crosshairs pack released in 2024. Get this. And so the main thing here I will tell you that's just really, really helpful is actually the top 2 items, but really this Odin. This rifle scope is the new kind of standard across the game for most players, and I'll show it to you here in a moment in game. Also, this night vision rifle scope, the Angler, is the preferred night vision rifle as well. So if you're going to be doing night hunting, like for gray wolf or wild boar or others, you'll want this, as it is a improvement in terms of and the visibility and the zooming in night vision versus the older former one that was in the old like hunting tech pack or something. And then one thing too that's not even just a DLC like item, but a functionality, also is this customizable reticles. And so they give you different options, and you can customize your reticle to tailor to how you want to. So but I would say really the essential part, in my opinion, really is like the Odin mainly. But then if you're doing any night hunting, this night vision rifle is the best one as well. So go for these 2. I'll go to the game really quick and just showcase to you, okay, for these sights. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just take my gun. Let's get a Zarza out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cycle through different sights. Okay, so here's none. All right, so, that's the default view through your crosshairs. Okay, then we're going to cycle to the next one, which is this Argus. Well, let's do the old standard was the Hyperion 4x8 42 rifle. This used to be the go-to, okay? And so this, you can see this scope. This is a good scope. You can see it's just fine. You can zoom in a little bit, pretty good. I can see him, pretty well. The one problem with this scope is, if you can tell, this is that big old thick black circle around the edges. That is quite irritating, and it really does take up a lot. And mainly if you're if you're observing a large herd of animals, like there are wildebeest here, herds that you might see at some point, and it's really hard to see all of them if you have this circle kind of cutting off visibility on the left and right. That's the limitation of the Hermes, or of the Hyperion, okay? Let's now go to the Argus, which is, I used to love this scope for sure. This one, I'll just show you this. It's extra zoom. Look how much closer you can get. Really good. And you can get this somewhere in the game, in DLC or whatnot. Or I think it's in-game. And that's really nice. And there are certain situations where you do want to have the closest zoom possible. So I do like that scope. I do recommend it for certain situations where a long shot is needed. Like right here, you can just see that I can get a pretty good shot right there with it. Versus for like the Hyperion, where I couldn't get quite as close. But the Odin is kind of the best of both worlds. Here it is. And so we'll put the Odin up. Oh man. So do you see now? First of all, here's the zoom. Okay, it's like in between. It goes from 4 to 12x. So it's not quite the 16x zoom, like the one more round of zoom, as the oh god, I keep forgetting the names. I'm sorry. I haven't used these other scopes in a while. My apologies. The Argus. The Argus is still the king in terms of technical zoom ability. Okay, but you can see here the 412, like that's the zoom range, right? It's a blend of both. So you can get extra zoom over the Hyperion, but do you see how thin that surrounding scope, the circle is? It's not nearly as thick. It's not nearly as takes up as much space. Much thinner. There's much more visibility all around. So when you use this, it's just kind of like a best of both worlds. It makes all of your hunting just so much easier with the Odin scope, and the community has adopted it as by far the favorite. So I would go with the Odin. And just one more time to kind of compare with the Hyperion. It's just, again, it's thicker and you can't go in as well. It obscures more on the vision. And then if you go to like the Odin, it's just like this night and day big difference, and it's wide open. It's just a dream to use. So that's why I think that's super helpful. Customizable reticle, you can change how the actual reticle itself looks, and that's fine. But getting this scope to me, again, is going to help you convert more kills, more harvests. You're going to get more enjoyment out of the game. And ultimately, I think that's where you're going to then really stick with the game longer and invest into it and play. Okay, so with that, this has been fun. Thanks for coming to Africa with me. I love coming to Vurhonga. It was really cool to see that my first rare crowned wildebeest earlier. That was awesome. And I can just see some other lions kind of out here. There's a reason why this map ranks really high for me. In my recent video where I ranked all 18 Call of the Wild reserves, before the Peru map came out. So if you have not yet, check that out. It's pretty fun. And we'll see where Vurhonga ranks, but it's quite high. But anyway, I hope that makes sense. I would love for you to comment below if you disagree with any of these DLCs, whether you think there's better DLCs or if you don't think that they're quite essential, then feel free to recommend some that are. There will be a companion DLC video coming out in about 2 weeks where I'm going to go through all of the weapon packs, and I will list I think it's 6 or 7 different packs that contain crucial weapons to me that are like extremely nice to have. And if you have these weapons, you're set for life in the rest of the game. So we will have a weapon pack DLC video that is briefer than this, but we'll go into it. So with that, we'll wrap this up. And I think my good boy dog, he wants to go and, track something else. So we'll go have some fun here on Africa. But thanks so much for tuning in to Wild Diamonds, where we literally today we hunted the rare and remarkable. My name is Paul, and until next time, happy hunting.